Welcome to the Inspiration for an Empowered Life podcast, sponsored by the Image Designers. They will help you look prosperous, feel prosperous, and be prosperous. Now, here's your host, the Image Master, Hollly Porter.
Hello, listeners. This is Hollly, and welcome to our show. Today, I have a great and inspiring guest for you, Elena Rahrig. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. How are you doing today, Hollly?
Oh, good. So this is a new podcast, as you know, and you're the number 2 show. And yeah, I know. I have you right up there. So we have a book that we've been working on. Elena is a publisher, amongst many other things, which you're going to find out in detail in just a minute or two. But we have a book that we've been working on called The 40/40 Rules, Wisdom from 40 Women Over 40.
It is such an amazing project. One of my favorites that I got to work on. And the women that, I don't know if you chose them or they came to you, but these women are absolutely amazing, Hollly. You did very, very well with finding your authors.
Oh, well, thank you. I believe the right gals showed up, like truly.
Absolutely. And I haven't even told you this yet, so I was waiting until this moment right now to tell you, but I have submitted your book for the Otter Publishing Reader's Choice Award. So we will have many people on our staff read it. They'll take a vote. It has to be 100% yes, and you will get the gold emblem on the cover of your book.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
Yes,
Oh,
so hopefully the next time you can make the announcement that you won it, but it is being submitted, so.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. Well, the podcast will be airing about the time we launch, and so as they listen, we're out there, and yeah, so June 1st is our launch day, and that's when, you know, you'll get some fun things we have planned, right? And so listen up for that. So this podcast mostly is going to be about you, and I just want to know, and I want you to share with the listeners, like, what inspired you to do what you do? And first of all, share what you do. Obviously, not everybody knows just publishing isn't what you do.
No, I do a lot of things, and I'm going to give them a little bit of my story first because, one, I look about 12 years old, and so people are probably thinking, who is she and what could she have done at such a young age? But I am 34 years old, which again is still young to a lot of entrepreneurs out there. But my path started at 12 years old. So I started a lot earlier than most people, and it's why I have been able to be successful at such a young age. But my dad was a public speaker and built huge companies of what we call empires that, you know, your listeners will learn that I build empires now and help people do that. But my dad was really great at that. And so he started at 12 years old, paying me to read books. And these were not any books. These were on business, life, and spirituality. And also at 12 years old, I remember my first plaid dress. That was my business dress. And I would go and work at his company with his secretary. So at 12 years old, I'm trying to answer phones, and it was so nerve-wracking, and I hated my life then. But, and I really thought Dad was a moron. I could not understand what he was doing, you know, but I wanted the money, so I did it. And it's really, really put me on a great path. Of course, I absolutely love books. So why not have a publishing company, right?
Right.
So yeah, books are definitely my passion. By the time I turned 18, I was a public speaker. And in my 20s, I was traveling all over the nation speaking for companies. And now in my 30s, I decided to take a step back and spend more time at home and teach people how to do what I've done and what I do. So the publishing company is Otter Publishing New York. And again, I never opened this company for it to grow huge. I never thought I would have a client like you. I never thought that I would do compilation books. In fact, at that time, I didn't know what they were. So the reason I opened it is some of the programs that I developed and the academies, they were being taught in prison and in one high school. And so when I was in the prison, though, the guys that I was working with, they really wanted to learn how to write their autobiography. And I knew that there was no way they could afford publishing cost. I mean, just to publish the book is $800, and then you have your editors and layout and cover design, just gets really, really expensive.
Right.
So I started teaching them how to do it on their own so that they didn't have to pay somebody thousands of dollars to do it. And so I opened up the publishing company, and I opened it up in New York. I am in Ohio, but I opened it in New York because who wants to be published by Delphus, Ohio, right? It doesn't sound that appetizing. So I did choose New York as the location, so it could be a New York company. And it was just for them and for me, and that was it. And I chose Otter, not because I like otters, but it's a profound story in my life. Briefly tell you about it, but I was at my rock bottom, making really bad decisions. And my dad had us do a personality test, and I was the otter. And I did not want to be the otter. So I wanted to be the lion or the bear like the rest of my family. And so it was when I made the decision that I do love being an otter, and I will always be an otter, but I can choose to be that lion and that bear. So the name comes from a very meaningful place. And of course, there's a longer story, but that's the short story.
Yeah.
But so I opened it for them. And over time, I remember the first person that ever heard about it was Hollly Porter. She started a company called, oh goodness gracious, I've been a part of it for so long. It's a women's networking company. Yes, thank you. I had my brain died for a moment. Women in Business Networking. I've been a member of it, so I can't believe I forgot that. But the Better Business Bureau ended up buying her out. And so they own it. But Hollly Porter said, would you publish a compilation book for me, or an anthology? There's different names.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, well, let's give this a go. So she was my first real client out there. And besides helping the inmates and a couple friends on the side. So from there, just word spread. And here I am a couple years later doing your book, and the publishing company has grown tremendously, and super excited. We now have a staff, so I'm not doing all the work for myself anymore. I outsource it. We have tons of subcontractors, but we still run into the same problem. When I opened the company, it was because some people could not afford the fees.
Right.
And so between that and people wanting to know how I do what I do, how do you public speak? How do you create these programs and academies? How do you be a coach or consultant, an author? How do you write a book? How? Yeah. And so I opened my other company, which is called Elena Rahrig Transform. And my companies are in 100% competition with each other. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so really it doesn't matter at the end of the day which one somebody goes through. It's either go through Otter Publishing New York and we can do everything for you, or if you can't afford, most people want to write more than one book, right?
Yeah.
So you look at, by the time we're done in Otter Publishing, your bill can be low end of $3,000, high end $15,000, $20,000, depending on what all you want us to do. Well, what Transform does is says, if you want to write one book or 10 books, 5 books, 3, whatever it is, do you want to pay that bill every single time? Or do you want to learn how to do it on your own? That way you don't have to keep paying these prices. So through the other company, we have 8 academies. We have 4 personal development programs. And then I'm writing my 10th book right now. So they have access to all my books that I've written too. But we teach you everything you need to know about how to write a book, publish it, public speak, coach consultant, program development, website building, grant writing. We have everything you would need. Mm-hmm. And so just for a little bit of insight, to publish a book the right way, not online, not create space. All right. A lot of people are doing online publishing. Well, if you do online publishing, you have an online book. So it really just can't go everywhere. So to really register it with Congress and do things the right way.
Yes.
By the time we're done with all that, I'm going to go ahead and tell on myself here, but it costs under $200. Well, publishing companies are charging $800. Now the work involved for me to publish your book takes me about 20 to 30 minutes.
Right.
Huge profit, short amount of time. I'm making a killing, right?
Sure.
Now I tell you that because I don't want to do that to you. I would rather teach you how to do it. And so in fact, one of my clients decided, everybody calls me for the publishing company, but I give them the other option. The first thing I say is, what's your vision for the book? If their vision is huge and they want to speak and be a consultant or a coach, then I say, okay, how many books do you want to write? Oh, I want to write books 3, 10. Okay, well, let's talk about the other company because I think it's a right fit. Yeah. And they usually go over to that side.
Which is what you did with me.
Yes, it is what I did with you.
And can I just share, like, I've already got the coaching certification, the speaker certifications. I've done that. However, I'm always a lifelong learner. And so it was I was like not interested, but then interested. And the more I've looked at your things and the way you teach and become, better acquainted with you, that I think it's awesome. And the other thing is, I want to share too, when you were saying that, there are a lot of big high-end maybe coaches and speakers that have assistants. And so I want to put a plug in for that, because this could be something they could be part of, and their assistants come and they do the work for them. And why not? Then they're not having to do it themselves still, but it's an academy that they're teaching and sharing with their team, and let their team do the work, because that's what they're paying them to do.
Yep.
So I don't know how much you've explored that avenue, but I see that avenue being, huge. And then don't forget to talk about your membership.
Yes. And so I love that you said that have their assistant do it. I have a couple people right now. It was actually a new topic. I've had 3 consultations in the last month, and all of them were by those 3 were, hey, I really want to join, but I have my assistant or my sister's working on this project with me. And so I say, no problem. You both can have the membership for the price of one if your sister's going to be the one in there actually learning it. Right. So we do let them come in as a team if it's that situation, because even myself, there's programs and academies that I've purchased where it's like, I don't really have time to learn it or really get in there and do everything. So then my assistant would then do that and help me and save me some time there. So we do offer that. And we do offer different levels of membership. So if somebody just wants to get their feet wet and learn a little bit, and I did want to say too, with the publishing, as much as we teach you, one of my clients actually opened a publishing company. So literally I teach you how to own a publishing company at the end of the day. But and like I said, I don't care if Otter Publishing ever really does grow, which it has, but that's not my main focus. My main focus is to teach people how to do what I do. But yes, we do have different levels. And to get your feet wet, you're talking a little under $1,000. You're going to be able to log into the membership website, see all the academies, and you're going to get some lessons from each one. So it is what I say, it's enough to be dangerous with. Okay, so you're not going to be extremely successful for that, but you are going to see if it's worth investing more and really stepping it up and taking it to the next level. Okay, and also some people just don't want to be overloaded. If they're a new entrepreneur, 8 academies can really scare them. That's a ton of content. I mean, one of my academies has, I think it's 58 videos. So you can imagine being a little overwhelmed. Right. But so somebody new, let's start small, right? And work our way into that. But then we have the higher one where you get all the academies and tons of assistance and all of that as well. So one of the things that I love the most about everything, because the membership site's the membership website. I don't have contact with people in that website. They're going in, they're logging in, they're taking the academies. So for me to be available for everyone, I mean, with hundreds of members, I obviously can't be there for everyone. Right. So that's when I created the secret Facebook group, which you are a part of. Yeah. And that's where I get to stay connected with everybody. And we do a weekly video conference and a weekly phone conference. So if you need me, that's when you get on. You can ask me questions. The video conference is usually a set topic, which I let the members pick. You see me put out every week, what do you guys want the topic to be about? And we see what mostly is being said. And also, if I can, I'll try to squeeze it all in there. It depends on how long everybody wants to stay on. And if I can't, then I'll do a separate recording and post that later. So everybody's getting what they need. But then we have go ahead.
Oh, I was to say my favorite part, I think that you do, and I've shared this with you before, but I'd like to share it with our listeners, is when I've needed something, because I'm learning all these new things right now, learning curve of doing a new podcast and putting my own book together. And you'll say, oh, I'll do a video of that and send it to you. And so you do a lesson on it and show me how to do it, just like setting up the Amazon seller account. And I love that because it helps me, but it's also your academy's constantly growing, like you're constantly adding new things. And so people that have been a member from the beginning will constantly see new things popping up of things that maybe they're not interested right then. But the best part is I'm a lifetime member, so I know I can go back and review things, and I can also see the new things too as I do them, or say, oh yeah, that's right, she had that on the academy. let me go learn that now. So that's brilliant. I mean, and you're a very good teacher. So this is like right up your alley. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, I love to teach. You and I were talking about that earlier today. Like my passion is to teach as much as I can. So my job really is to stay up with the current times. You know, what's the latest program that you guys would need? You know, which program's outdated? You know, Facebook Live videos used to be, you just did them on Facebook. Well, now Zoom that we're on right now, you can channel that right into Facebook Live. So I'm teaching you the latest, teaching you all of that.
Right.
But yes, we do have the lesson request. So we actually have a form on the website that somebody can print off the form. They fill it out. What do you want to learn? What style of teaching do you want it in? Do you want it in a PDF document? Do you want it in a Word document? Do you want me to do a video on it? So they get to actually even tell me how they want me to teach it, which is great.
Right.
Then there's passive conversation of, you know, you sending me a message going, I don't know how to do this. Okay, let me check my calendar. Yep, I have time today. I can whip out a quick video for you. After this right here, after our little chat today, I'm actually going to do a Facebook Live video through Zoom, and I'm going to teach people how to set up reoccurring payments on their website for memberships through their own PayPal account. So a lot of people may not know that you can do that, or they don't know how. So
Right.
I have a client here today actually, and that's what I was teaching her. And I thought, I got to do a video on this.
Yeah.
So that's what I do, is I just keep you guys up to date and keep making sure that you get everything you need to know. And my number one goal is so you don't have to hire somebody else.
Yes.
You know, you don't have to keep hiring. I don't know if you've done this, but I've hired over $30,000, over $30,000 I've spent on other coaches and consultants, to where it's like, okay, yeah. So you're like, stop the bleeding.
Yes.
You know, you hire one coach to teach you how to write the book. You hire another coach to teach you how to publish it. You hire another coach to teach you how to market it.
Right.
And then another coach to teach you how to speak about it. Like, stop hiring all these different people for $4,000 to $7,000 and get it all in one spot for the price of one.
Yeah.
So that's how I set it up, because, you know, as entrepreneurs, we're problem solvers. And so I've set up my companies going, what are all the problems that I've had? Well, I've had to hire all these people. So I'm going to make it easier so other people don't have to do that. You know, they can just hire one place.
You're always hearing, you're always seeing things pop up on Facebook. Oh, and I mean, because I'm like, you know, chasing the squirrels all day long. And I'll see something pop up and I'll be like, oh, that looks really interesting. I bought a lot of things even that way. Because I can make decisions fast. So like, if I feel into it and I feel like it's right, I get it. And so I haven't really ever been sorry I bought any of that, but I love that. I know now too, that you could learn it. If it's not on your academy, you will learn it, you will put it on there, and then that lesson's there. So to me, it's a one-stop shop. Really.
It is. And actually, right before this call, for all you listeners, Hollly said, Elena, I would really like a podcast academy. And I said, well, you've already learned a lot of it, but you thought, you know, people need this. And so it's on my list of things to do. I will create a podcast academy for everybody. So that's what I do. I mean, at the end of the day, I want every academy that you guys will need in, you know, as an author, public speaker, coach, or consultant. There's a ton of stuff that there's a ton of stuff that we need to learn.
Yeah.
And so I just want to keep up with it. And I'm creating a couple other academies right now too. So we're just keep adding academies. And the great thing is, if you're a lifetime member, it doesn't matter what I add, it's yours for no additional cost.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I love it. Okay. So we need to wrap up. Any last words, or definitely your contact information, which we'll also put in a link below?
Absolutely. The last thing I want to say is the secret Facebook group. It is, you know, not only do we have the weekly phone and video conferences, stay connected, but we do giveaways almost every week. I say they're monthly, but I really try to hit it every week. And I mean, we're giving away lighting systems, teleprompters. I'm giving away a laptop, tables that people need to set up displays, you know. So I ask my members, what kind of stuff do you need for your business? And I add it to my list of things to give away. So that is a great aspect. And that membership, if you're not ready to sign up for the academies and spend the thousands, they can join the private Facebook group for just $35 a month. So it's super inexpensive, able to connect with me, and you know, twice a week, I'm there for you to help solve problems.
Well, and you set up payment plans, even if they want to be part of the academy, and you're so flexible. So yeah. So if they want to talk to you, get more information, what do they do?
Well, they can go to ElenaRahrigTransform.com. It's ElenaRahrig, and then the word transform.com. And there is a tab at the top. It says schedule. If they click on the schedule tab, they'll see my calendar and they can schedule a time that works best for them to chat with me. They're 45-minute slots, and I can explain more in detail what we have to offer. Now, if they actually want a coaching session with me to where they want me to start helping them right away solve a problem and help them get to another level, then they can click on the tab that says purchase a 1-hour session. And so for $150, we can spend that it's an hour. So the slot will show them 45 minutes, but we do spend a full hour.
Sometimes and that's going up. I know that's going up.
Yes. You and I did talk about that.
That is such a good deal. That's basically a wholesale price, guys. So if you need that, seriously get on quick because it's
Actually, when is this podcast posting?
Well, next week is the plan. So
so then
part of June.
Okay, well then I'm going to wait. I'll wait a couple weeks because I was actually going to do it this weekend and bump that up to $300 as suggested. But I will wait until at least this post so they have a good 24, 48 hours before I bump that up. So it'll stick to that 150 a little bit longer. But yeah, as time is of the essence and I just can't do them all the time. So we need to weed out the people that aren't serious a little bit. Yeah. You know, the ones that are really serious and want their problem solved, they'll pay that $300. So
sure. Well, and then you can dig in and see, because, you know, there are some people that maybe they would just benefit from one of your academies and not the whole group. You know, there's people in all different situations. So
absolutely. And we do sell every academy a la carte. So if somebody doesn't want them all and they say, I just need the public speaking one, then they can just buy that one.
Yeah.
So,
right. Yeah. Well, I love your energy, and it's been such a pleasure having you and getting to know you better, just doing this book. You were like perfect to work with. So I know you were God sent when you came, and it just happened all for a reason, right?
It did. Well, thank you, Hollly. And I think that what I enjoyed the most about working on your project is the friendship that you and I are building. Yeah. You are an amazing woman. And I believe we're planning a trip to California. Yes.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Trip, I'm in.
Yep. So thank you for being an awesome client and becoming a good friend. So
thanks for joining us today. And thank you, listeners, for being here today on the podcast.
Yeah.